Welcome back, guys. And
We were hyped. I mean, the amount of let's goes that were sent back and forth is crazy.
I think this trade kind of shocked us a little. It kind of shocked me.
super exciting.
That's kind of hard to believe.
Let's get hyped and let's get into the video.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Talking Tridents, a Mariners podcast. We are here on August 19th after a record-breaking loss by the Mariners. But first, let's go back to the Houston Astros series. Mariners take the series against the Astros 2-1, winning the last two games of the series. And things looked like they were going to start panning out for the Mariners. Offense looked good. Pitching was solid. Bullpen did their thing. And then we went to Milwaukee. In the Astros series, I thought the offense looked really good. You know, we lost the first game in heartbreaking fashion to that crazy ninth inning with the Astros. Lost it 7-10, but then followed up with a 10-5 win, and then Mariners win on the 16th with a 3-2 win. But yeah, it looked like something was kind of, we were going to turn a corner and hopefully finish strong the rest of the year. But then yesterday happened, so.
Yeah, which it just comes. I mean, I'm most disappointed. There's a lot of things I'm disappointed in, but the first one is Bryce Miller. What his last four starts have not been great, and to me, it's just frustrating. Earlier in the season, he was dealing, and then it forced us to. We traded Castillo because we didn't want to run a 6-man rotation anymore, and Bryce Miller looked like he was the pitcher that he used to be when he came back from injury this year. Not so much. As soon as Castillo is gone, now he's struggling again. He gave up 5 last night, and then Simpson came in, gave up 5, and it was just all downhill from there. But
I remember I was at work and I was kind of keeping track on the game on my watch. I'm like, okay, 1-0 going in the fifth, fine. Like that sounds like the Mariners, right? Mm-hmm. The next thing I look, it's 6-1. I'm like, what happened? Bryce Miller yet again, gave up that big inning that really has haunted him this whole year, or at least the second half of the year, I should say. And then all of a sudden it's 19-0, and I'm like, what is happening? Someone stop the bleeding. Like let's cauterize the wound, something. And then ending to a historic loss, mind you, the worst shutout loss since 1887, before the great Bambino was born. 22-0 loss. So
the first baseball game I ever played was a bigger deficit than that. Apparently.
Yeah, seriously, right? But it was just, and the thing is, the Mariners didn't lose that game just because the Brewers are good, right? We lost that game because we made mental mistakes. Repeated mental mistakes. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw Julio throwing the ball into the crowd when there was only 2 outs after catching, what he thought was the third out. Like,
of course I saw it. I can't keep defending this guy. I defend Julio every time, and I say, he's going to bounce back. I have his jersey right there on the wall. Mm-hmm. And this guy's throwing the ball into the stands with 2 outs. He's spending more time being a DJ than he is focusing on baseball for some reason. Why are we not in the cage? Instead, we're on the DJ booth. I mean, come on, man. It's like he was already thinking about his next set list when he was out there in the outfield. I mean, I think it was 19-0 at the time. So he's probably like,
he's looking forward to a show later that night in Milwaukee.
I can't wait until this game is over and I can, get into the booth. And then he just throws the ball into the stands. Ridiculous.
They counted it as an error too, which I love, because that should go against him as an error. Like that's just crazy. But
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Julio obviously made that mental mistake, and then there was just a bunch of errors in the game. Cal Raleigh dropped the ball, the play at the plate. Josh Naylor had an error.
He would have been out. He
would have been out, and that would have stopped the bleeding at some point. I mean, the game then, I think that was before the Yelich home run, I believe, right?
It was, yeah. It was still 1-0 at that point.
Yeah. And then, a questionable call by Dan Wilson when we had a runner on first and second with Brandon Donovan at the plate. And then you do a double steal and Rodden gets thrown out at second base, which, sometimes you got to put the game in motion. But with your best hitter at the plate, like if it was Leo Rivas, Weston Wilson, okay, fine. Go ahead and do a double steal, see if it works. But you had Brandon Donovan and at the top of your order at the plate, and then, obviously Randy Canzone, Julio following. What are you doing? So all around low point in the season, which we've said, I think, at least 10 times on this channel. but it just continues. The bar continues to be lowered. And at what point do we climb out of this hole? I don't know.
We keep saying on every episode, oh, it can't get worse than this. And it gets worse. 22-0 is worse. And I'm not even going to say it can't get worse because who knows? Today we may be out 24-0.
Dude, no way. 24-0 loss after a 22-0 loss. At that point, I think you just have to call up the whole Rainiers team and send all of the Mariners down.
100%. It's just frustrating because, the pitching obviously gave up 22 runs. 9 of those were Leo Rivas, whatever. But
our ace.
The offense can't score 1 run. Are you kidding me? So many games, our offense, even if we lose by a big margin, our offense doesn't score more than 1 run. It's ridiculous. It's like last night we put Rivas in, and they scored 9 runs. They put in Gary Sanchez. We scored nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, guys.
Hey, Johnny Pareto was trying to launch it out of the stadium, so he was trying his best.
Man took 2 steps out. He backpedaled 2 steps out of the batter's box and did a Happy Gilmore swing, and he singled. My God.
If that doesn't sum up the Mariners season, I don't know what will.
I don't either.
A lot of the buzz, though, around the league, obviously, is what is happening in this Mariners rotation, right? We have some of the biggest names when it comes to pitching in baseball, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, and yet we still find ways to lose games by a large margin. Bryce Miller has, at his last 7 starts, has lost 5 with 2 no decisions with an ERA almost to 6. He obviously has been battling injuries the last few years. Last year, he only pitched 90 innings. After last night's start, he's officially at 89 and some change. He's not able to go past 4. Not even, he can't even make it to through the 5th inning, Yeah. What point in this season do you just say, you know what, Bryce Miller cannot finish the season out the way we need him to? Let's bring up Kate Anderson, I mean, honestly, that conversation should be a real conversation right now.
Yeah, I would say after last night, it is a reality. At what point do we need to put Bryce Miller on a pitch count? Or, because I don't know if you know, but how many pitches was he at yesterday through 4?
I can find it. Let's see.
Because it seems, like you said, every outing, he's good through the first few innings, and then he just implodes in 1 inning, and then he can never bounce back after that. So,
well, he finished last night with 92 pitches overall, and obviously the 5th inning is where he really struggled and gave up that 5 spot. So I would imagine he was somewhere in the 60 or 70 range through the 4th inning, and then obviously from there it went downhill. But
yeah,
my only concern is
to look at having maybe 50 to 60, like a 60 pitch limit with Miller, and I don't know what that would look like realistically if it's, I hate to say, but going back to the piggyback, and you already brought that up before we started.
Bring it back.
But
I'm joking, guys. No piggyback.
No, or what? Move him to the bullpen? But this is frustrating because this brings us back to the same situation that we were in with Luis Castillo before we traded him.
Mm-hmm.
Was he couldn't go more than a few innings without him imploding. So, I don't know. Or does he need to go on IL and then just call
and back up?
Kate Anderson.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So Bryce Miller started the season on the IL, right? He never had the chance to fully ramp up from off-season spring training to first game. He had a long ramp up still because, we did have the 5-man rotation. We were running with Luis Castillo, and the rest of the guys said we were fine. But so the Anderson conversation is interesting because obviously Kate Anderson's been amazing in the minor leagues. He has thrown some just insane gems back to back to back, like the whole year, right? He has that one start that stands out as like, oh man, that was rough. But it wasn't even that rough. He gave, 4 runs in an inning, which that happens from time to time, even to the best of pitchers.
Yeah, for sure.
Kate Anderson's also on a pitch count and on an inning count because this is his first professional major league season. He's already pitched more innings than he ever had in college. They're pulling him around 70 to 75 every single start, which, mind you, he's getting into the 6th at 70 to 75 pitches, which is insane.
Yeah, it is.
But that breeds the question, when you bring up, if you bring up Anderson, is he in the same boat as Miller? Not able to get through the fifth. And then you're in the same spot, and then you have Miller in the bullpen. Yeah, so a piggyback makes sense in that capacity. But is that what we want to do? We're nearing the end of the season, 36 games left, and the postseason odds are just diminishing by the day. Do you really want to bring up your top prospect to potentially injure himself through pushing him? I don't think so. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't either. I don't think that's what we want, but there has to be something that we can do to limit Miller's outings, I guess. I don't know. Or what? You just let him go and hopefully that he can find his stuff again?
Well, and obviously, without running a 6-man rotation, we have that extra bullpen arm now, so we're back to 8 in the bullpen. Why can't you have Miller go 4? If he's cruising, start him the 5th, but the moment somebody gets on, he's out. Or just say, hey, Miller, you're getting 4 innings today. Go out there and do your best because we're pulling you in the 4th or at the start of the 5th regardless. So setting that expectation to him, saying, hey, give us your all through those 4. Put us in a position to really get this game, get this win and whatnot. But it's just challenging.
It is challenging. And the way our bullpen's been pitching, that's going to ruin our bullpen because we're going to end up using, through the remaining 5 innings, we're going to end up using 5 guys. So, I don't know. It's tough. I'm honestly almost at the point where they just put Miller on the IL, and if there is truly something bothering him, and call up someone else, not Cade Anderson, not Ryan Sloan, but
Jonathan Diaz.
Bring up Jonathan Diaz. No, please, no. I'll just ride with Miller at that point, but.
Well, one thing I will say and of course, we always find positives in the negative. That's what we do on this podcast. But Matt Brash and Carlos Vargas should be back within the next week, right? That's some big reinforcements. I mean, that gets Simpson out of your bullpen. That gets maybe Davila or someone else out of your bullpen. That's a big boost. Not only is Carlos Vargas a workhorse, so he can go 2 innings, all the time, but Matt Brash is another leverage arm. So in the scenario where you have a Miller or a Cade Anderson only going 4 innings, I think with those 2 healthy,
Vargas,
there's a very strong possibility we can bridge that gap to the 9th, right?
Yeah, Vargas.
Not to mention
that gap.
100%, and even Criswell is going to be back hopefully by the end of August, start of September. So those are going to be some big guys to get back to help bridge that gap because obviously Miller's just not panning out right now. He started the year on an insane run, but like I mentioned, let's look at his last 7 starts. Let's take a deeper dive into it. So starting at the July 9th against the Miami Marlins, he gave up 4 over 5, and then he lost the game. Giants, he gave up 3 over 5 2/3, lost the game. Texas Rangers in 5 1/3, he gave up 5, and then it just kind of implodes from there. His ERA in the last calendar month has gone from a 2.18 to a 3.71. He just has not been the guy that we are expected and have grown accustomed to seeing on that mound.
Yeah. It's really concerning because, I mean, we've already said, he's had injuries the past couple of years and it's really affected him. But the fact that, he looked great when he came back towards the end of last season. Mm-hmm. And then he looked great to start the season. But he can't put together it seems that he can't put together a full season where he looked like he did in, 23?
Yeah.
So that's really concerning. Is it that just
24? 24 is when he had the 2.94 ERA.
Healthy? Yeah. Or what's the problem? So it is concerning.
With all this said,
we're going to get reinforcements again, even though we said that last time and our offense was
the second trade deadline.
Arguably worse. So let's hope this time it actually works.
There's 2 ways the season can end for me. We'll start with the negative. Let's say the Mariners continue just to slowly lose their postseason opportunity. They continue to lose these series, even against good teams. They end the season with a negative record. I think that if that happens, September 1st comes around, you're seeing Arroyo Montez on the major league roster getting everyday reps, right? You're seeing them playing a lot because they're getting ready for next season. They're basically throwing the white flag in for this season and saying, hey, let's let the young guys play. If by chance the Mariners can turn it around, really ramp up, because the thing is they're not too far out of the playoff race. The Astros are leading the division at a 500 record at 63-63. Mariners only 4 games back from them. And then Mariners only 3 games back from the Rangers in the wild card race at 62-64. So let's say the Mariners start stringing together some wins. They are able to show it. They don't need a 54% record to make it into the playoffs this year. I genuinely think ending the season at 81-81 gives you a shot to make the playoffs, which is insane.
It is insane.
But that still requires us to go, 22-14 to end the season. I mean, is that achievable? I don't think so. This current team is not showing the determination to make that achievable.
No, this current team, that is not possible to do. They're more focused on DJing and whatever else rather than trying to win. So it is in a year where I'll say it again, the division and the AL West and the AL wildcard race is begging the Mariners, look, this is your guys' year. We'll give you the division. Nah.
We're good.
They don't want it. Yeah. We're not seeing the fire that you would expect to see from a team that lost in the ALCS last year, and with such high expectations and additions, the players that they added this year to come in and play with fire, you're not seeing that. So I don't think 22-14 or around that record is even going to be achievable for the remainder of the season, to be honest.
Which is just so crazy to think about. A Mariners team that we were hoping would be north of 90 wins, would be in the AL West champions by a long shot, with the Astros, Rangers, and Angels all being in positions where they're not really buying or adding to their roster. They're just kind of making do with what they had. So
yeah, look, we needed a big series against Houston last series. We took 2 out of 3. We won the series. Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did what we had to do. And then we came back. We lost 22-0. Now the Brewers are probably the best team in the league.
They have the best record in the MLB right now.
Yeah, which is insane. So the difference between us and the best team in the league is 22 runs. Yeah. So I don't know. What are we doing? Are we able to fight back like we did against Houston the remainder of the season? I think the Brewers series, the remainder of the series is going to be telling. Today's game and tomorrow's game. If we bounce back and win both games or even one game or play both games competitively, okay, maybe. But if we don't look like we have any fight left the next 2 games against the Brewers after being beat 22-0, then probably not.
And we have 2 of our top guys going out today. We'll see Logan Gilbert versus Dustin May. Hopefully the Mariners can jump on Dustin May's fastball. He leads a lot of pitches over the plate at a high velocity. So just flick the bat out there and see what happens. And then tomorrow we got George Kirby against Gasser, and both those pitchers are definitely beatable. Right, we just got to have our guys go out there and throw 6 innings of quality baseball, and we just have to score 3 or 4 runs, and we're most likely winning those games. So, looking forward to the rest of the year. Obviously, the rest of August is a difficult schedule. Once we finish the series in Milwaukee, we head back home against the Cubs and the Phillies, 2 teams who are well into the playoff race in the NL. Then we go to the Blue Jays, to the Red Sox, and then finish out the year mainly against AL West opponents. We see the Athletics for 4, Rangers for 3, Athletics and then Angels again. The Rockies in Colorado. Mariners better hit 50 home runs in those 3 games.
Cal Raleigh's going to make up for the difference between this year and last year in that one series. He's going to hit 40 home runs. He's
going to hit 8 home runs in 3 games, raise his average by 40 points, back over the 200. But then the last 6 games of the season.
Never happened.
It never happened, right? All is forgiven.
Yeah.
The last 6 games of the year, though, are going to be really interesting because not only do we play 2 games against the Astros at home, right? So right there, that could be the difference between winning the AL West or not. Then we end the year with 4 games against the Angels. You got to go out and sweep them if you're talking about playoffs at all. So,
Right.
I mean, there's definitely a chance the Mariners can still make it, which is crazy to say after the just the multitude of negatives that have happened this year, all the injuries, the disappointment. Again, only 4 games back of the division starting today, and 3 games back of the wild card.
Yeah, there's still a chance. And, it's ironic that I was so on board and wanting the Mariners to trade Luis Castillo. Now, I honestly wish we still had him.
Well, I will say Luis had that one amazing start, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, but this last start he had looked more like the Luis we saw in the Mariners uniform this year. So,
Yeah.
well, with that, we will end this week's episode of Talking Tridents, a Mariners podcast. Go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Give us a thought of what you think the Mariners record could be at the end of the season. Are they going to make the playoffs or not? And let me know what you thought of DJ Plano's set. So we'll send you guys off there.